It's strange. I'd have thought being done for the year with the club, I'd be done writing poems up here in my head. I guess not. There's something to be said for that, I suppose, for not sticking to prose. Though my work there is done, I've but barely begun to live, to offer my something to give to the world so big, so fragile, so strong. Amongst the ever-present change, friends kept, others whom I'll estrange. Moving away to make friends with strangers, vulnerable to unknown dangers, I find rhythm and reason, make sense of the wrong, perspective. I've been safe all along. Day-to-day life, habitual, ritual, motions, deep down, I'm still the same man. The socially awkward, the die-hard Mets fan, the wannabe poet who can't get a date, always looking for others with whom I'll relate. Some habits I cannot afford to let go, while others I could do without. Even so, it's hard to leave part of my past behind. Even so, I may my destiny find. My last day of high school, my first day of college, some habits outlast decades of gathering knowledge. I didn't expect to be writing so soon, but I guess my story's much like Brigadoon. True love outlasting a faded goodbye, a link to the past wrapped in fog from the sky. But isn't that really what poetry is? A link between worlds from Hyrule to Les Mis? But sometimes to grow, we must break our habits before our mistakes all start piling up like rabbits. Mistakes very soon I'll be leaving behind me, 3,000 miles from what could remind me. A chance to start over. It could have been worse had I not had the last 18 years to rehearse. Amongst a new crew, with a blank clean slate, make new friends, maybe even go on my first date. Old habits die hard, but I only need guard against those I regret, which I'd rather forget. I cannot live my life as I did in L.A., nor become someone other than who I say. All I can do is work to improve who I already am, not try to remove myself from me, myself, and I. I'm always myself, and without me, I'd die. But wasn't that always the big goal in life, more than fame or success, or a husband or wife? To grow far beyond the person you were, even though of success you could never be sure. As I try to succeed, I will fondly look back at the people and places that got me on track, and while I won't linger, they'll stay in my heart as my backbone which, even when countries apart, cannot weaken. My future lies somewhere ahead. My past, not a burden, will guide me instead, to know what to do and what to avoid, so as to save bridges unburnt, undestroyed. I've heard that most friendships which last all life long form after high school, but I'll write my own song in which I can reach out to my friends from high school, or as far back as middle school. If I'm a fool for believing it possible, what can I say? Only that I at least tried my best anyway. The floodgates reopened, the lines never cease, flowing out of my head and extending this piece. But then, like my life yet unfinished, there's more awaiting than I could have dreamed was in store when my journey began. Even now, branching trails, every one leads to more, who knows what each entails. But doesn't the secret of life lie therein if you're willing to face the results with a grin? One chapter, now ended, gives way to another. Some habits persist, some are born, some die. If you thought I would rhyme every 2 lines each time, recall when it's not even worth it to try. If the habit is harmful, it's really a crime to give up what's good to help it survive. Never lose sight of the person you are, the brilliant light, the bright shining star. Be true to yourself, and your true self will show. Your true self, that's the you I'd like to know. With freedom to say whatever I please in this poem, my thoughts unloaded with ease. But the poem won't end. I'll just have to press pause, go to college prepared to further my cause, my goals, my life. I'll branch out for a while in peace. Or maybe I won't, we'll see. But in the meantime, out of sight I may be to you and to most if not all of my friends, but I hope to remain in the back of their minds and close to the front every so often. Heaven forbid that I'm ever forgotten. I don't want my life to end up meaning squat. But now, before I digress yet again, I've said quite a lot. I've been writing since 10. It's shocking how much can build up in 4 years, and how fast it can hit all at once, all those fears and nostalgia approaching, final goodbyes. My outward demeanor of calm, it belies the turmoil I didn't know even existed, and yet to not feel it would be something twisted. I tried to get just one thing off of my mind, but what followed? Another, then more. An endless supply of thoughts, hopes, and fears. By dwelling, I risk reduction to tears. What have I become? Am I so without rules that I don't have the tools to move on? Maybe this time, the 3rd or the 4th, is the charm. If not, there's really no harm in giving myself some time to digest what I've written and said, and what's left in my head. I guess there will never not be more to say, but for now, I guess I'll be okay.